quick question?
Of course.
I had two dates written down. I had February 25th as a hold, and then I had the April date.
Well,
The
we're
7th.
going to talk about that one.
Okay. We're going to talk about that with an executive session. That one's for sure, and then Jeremy wants to talk to you about that.
Okay, gotcha.
Because we're trying to say, that I don't know if you need it. Okay. We want to make sure you're okay.
Okay, okay. Okay, gotcha.
Good. Well, Kyle went back to work today, so I'm not sure how. They're so like they're kind of, they're in their 30s, but they're like soft. I'm like, toughen up, people. Like, we didn't have like dads that had paternity leave. I mean, I remember like my husband at the time, like, I think I came home from a C-section with twins, and I was like on my own after 2 days. I had nobody like, I don't remember anything, but you know, it's like,
It's a whole different journey for them, though.
yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. So I don't know.
You're going down when?
I'm gonna go. So her mom's coming tomorrow because he's gonna go in the office to help out this week, not next week, the following week.
You'll go, okay.
Yeah, and my goal is to try to go once a month.
Okay.
I mean, it's not like it should be, but you know, I mean, I don't know what else I can do. So, but they're so like, it's like, I'm like, toughen up, people. Like,
Your life is not
but it worries me because I'm like, why are you guys so weak? I don't get it. Like, they're just, and they have all these products and all these rules.
Yeah, oh my goodness.
It's like crazy. So
You're going to go down and give them a lesson.
I know, like, I don't know. So I'm hoping like maybe him getting back to work. You know, sometimes it like, kind of like, it kind of gives you energy. Like, you know, sometimes you're like the worst when you're on vacation.
Yeah.
You know, like once you get back to your routine, you're just better.
And he won't be there, so she'll have to make some decisions, kind of move ahead.
I don't know. I'm just like, and you can't stay. You got to watch what you say too, because it's got to be their idea.
Oh.
I can't.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, I can't
my
say too
goodness.
much because they're doing like breastfeeding. But I told you that she's not using a bottle. I'm like, okay, well, you're not going to survive every 2 hours. Like, you gotta do. Like, nobody else can help you. Mom can't help you. Kyle can't help you.
That's right.
Like,
Right.
like something else has to happen. But I can't. I gotta be quiet.
It's hard.
I know because it's like we know better. We do know.
Yes, we
We
do.
don't know anything.
We don't know anything.
Yeah.
That's funny.
1 minute.
All right. We have 2 minutes. Everybody.
I've got 1 minute.
Oh, you've got 1 minute. Okay.
I call the Ravenna School District Board of Education to order. Call roll call
Mrs. Seaman?
here.
Mrs. Calhoun? Here. Mrs. Dennison? Mrs. Raynone? Here. Mr. Wisniewski?
Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And can we have a moment of silence? All right, are there any additions or corrections to the agenda?
No, ma'am.
I need a motion for approval of the agenda.
So moved. It says, who's the second?
I'll take that.
Okay, thank you.
All right, roll
Roll
call.
call. Mrs. Calhoun?
Yes.
Mrs. Dennison?
Yes.
Mrs. Rayone?
Yes.
Mrs. Seaman?
Yes.
Mr. Wisniewski?
Yes.
All right, recognition of public. Do we have anybody signed up to speak on board agenda items?
No, we do not.
Then, moving on to Face of a Raven, Mr. Ryblin.
So each month we recognize staff and students who have gone above and beyond to show their Face of a Raven. We've been doing this for a couple years now, where these are students and staff that go above and beyond and exceed or excel or have done something really special. Our staff members are nominated by our other staff members, and our students are nominated by their teachers within each building. So we're going to recognize each one of those. Each person's going to come up on the stage and get an award from the board members. And so you'll just come up this side and then across the stage and then back down. At the end, we'll take a brief recess so we can get pictures out in the common area out here. After the recess, everyone is more than welcome to stay, but don't feel obligated. You're more than welcome to go home. Typically, we've got about another 45 minutes to an hour of board meetings, so you're either way, we'd love to have you, but we also understand that people have other commitments. So if I could have all the award winners over here. Students, if you could find your building principal, and if the high school student is here, George, you'll be going up with Mr. Doherty. Mr. Lane couldn't be here this evening. We're going to do adults first. Let's see, and everything's over here on the chair for you, labeled. All right, our first award winner is Mrs. Angela Cole. She's a Title I teacher at Williard. All right, the nomination says, Mrs. Cole has organized and run the Blankets and Books event for the kids of Williard for several years. She makes sure everyone feels loved and cared for in addition to this wonderful event. She's always decorating Williard for each holiday and makes school a welcoming place for everyone. And if anyone hasn't seen it online, every student at Williard last week got a blanket and a book to take home through donations that Mrs. Cole organizes. So thank you, Mrs. Cole, for your hard work. Our next staff member is Mrs. Mandy Keiko. She's our secretary from West Main Elementary School. Her nomination says that she multitasks every day. She's a wonderful secretary, does her job and lots of other jobs as well. Mrs. Keiko goes above and beyond with professionalism and a smile on her face every day. And through the chaos of the day at West Main, I can honestly say, and I know her building principal can say, that Mrs. Keiko keeps everything organized and ready to go. Whether it's chaos or not, you really can't tell over there. So congratulations. Thank you. All right. Our final staff member is Mr. Tom Parker. He's our industrial tech teacher at Ravenna High School. His assistant principal, Mr. Duncan, nominated him. He said, Mr. Parker goes above and beyond with the students. He makes sure students get necessary skills to be able to build and maintain things in order for their own future homes. He has worked with numerous families on Pinewood Derby projects. He makes every student feel welcome in the class. He's a great asset to Ravenna High School and the students, and he's a pleasure to have around. So thank you, Mr. Parker, for your work and dedication. All right, our first student is from preschool, Mickey Boland. And Mickey's teacher said, I am nominating Mickey as a Face of a Raven student. He is kind and a sweet boy. He is quick to put the needs of his friends before his own. He is always asking others if they are okay and wants to offer them a helping hand. Mickey is eager to try all the activities that are offered in his preschool classroom. He is supported by a loving family, as evidenced tonight by his large crowd tonight. And it's apparent that they are invested in his education. Mickey is a wonderful student, but most of all, he is a superb friend to all. Congratulations, Mickey. Okay, our Williard student wasn't able to make it tonight, but Mrs. Flower is going to gather the award for Daxton Holsopple, a kindergartner. Daxton, come. Oh, go ahead. Daxton comes to school ready to learn each day. He is kind and respectful toward every adult at Williard and his friends. He's a good role model, helpful and responsible, and I'm so proud of his progress this year. So congratulations to Daxton as well. All right, our student from West Main this month is fourth grader Leali Terry. The team of Mrs. Chickick, Mrs. Breckenridge, Miss Cole, and Miss Stoddard would like to nominate her this month for the West Main Face of a Raven. They said Leali is a hardworking student that is engaged in every lesson she participates in. She is so helpful to the other students, always taking the time to help them understand learning when a teacher may not have been able to. She always follows directions and models positive behaviors even when no one is watching. She is a model student as to what a Raven should be. Congratulations. All right, our middle school student is sixth grader Chloe Woodward. Chloe is a wonderful and caring Brown Middle School Raven. She comes to school with a smile on her face and is ready to learn. This year, Chloe is on the yearbook staff as a photographer for Thursday theme days. She is kind and polite to everyone she meets, and Mrs. Remley is so proud of Chloe and all the progress she has made this year. Keep reaching for the stars, Chloe. You are very capable. Congratulations. And our high school student is ninth grader George Hudson. George, you received 2 nominations from the adults at your building. Mrs. Rosinski says, he quietly sets a great example for his peers in algebra class. He asks questions when needed. He is determined to find his mistakes so that he can learn from them, and he works well in groups with partners. George consistently does what is necessary, and it is self-motivated to make sure he is always moving forward with his education. Mrs. D'Onofrio also said that George has caught my eye and my heart this year as a freshman. His presence is soft and caring, but powerful and important. He was recruited for Upward Bound and has been involved in each meeting and activity. He is a quiet listener, but a dominant supporter. I wholeheartedly believe George has a strong future in whatever he puts his mind to. Congratulations, George. Yeah, I see it. Come on across. Daxton has made it, so we're thrilled he's here. So let's give him the honor and recognition for making it here tonight. Congratulations, Daxton. We're really proud of you. Your teachers really think a lot of you, so congratulations. Okay, so we're going to take a brief recess. Pictures right behind the curtain here on the other side of the wall. And then, like I said, you're free to leave or more than welcome to come back in. Thank you, everyone.
we do this right off the bat. Until we get the roads, then we can, then we at least don't lose it for 20 years. Yeah. You know? So. Boring. This thing is like so sensitive.
How's Grandma doing? All right. We'll start now with, ready for our treasurer's report.
This is our treasurer's report. So the first document, and board members, you have a copy of this document. This is our January monthly report. So it's how did January fare to our most recent forecast, which was the one that we've submitted in August. So we are trending higher in our revenue by $411,000. We're trending lower in our expenditures of around $755,000, And now our cash on hand is an increase of about 1.16 million. All right, so this doesn't matter anymore now, because now I'm going to be doing the forecast for the February forecast. So everything starts back at zero. So to the board members, you have the presentation packet, and you have the guide to each of the line items at your seat. For the community, all these documents will be available on the district website under the treasurer tomorrow. All right, so why do we do a financial forecast? Well, first of all, it's required by Ohio Revised Code. It is required to do twice a year. So the state legislators changed the dates. It used to be November and May, and now it's August and February. There's some hypothesis on why these were changed. I believe it's because we do elections and ballots in November and May, and they want to make sure that board members and the community have information prior to making voting decisions. However, there is a little bit of negative to these dates. So for example, we don't know our counts until the end of October. So we don't know our enrollment, which is part of the formula in our state funding. So there is some negativity to some of the dates, so we're going to file as required, and then I do see some amendments happening in the future. So the financial forecast consists of two things. It's a one-page financial forecast, which shows some of your past years with your current years and 4 years out. We're required to now file only the past years, the current year, and 3 years out. That is also a legislative change, that they don't want us to submit what used to be called a 5-year forecast. It's more of a 4-year forecast. And there is some truth to this. As you kind of get out further, it's more estimates. So the less years that you have, the data is more real as it's less years, and it's going to occur quicker. The financial forecast is also important, as it's an engagement tool with the community and stakeholders on financial planning and discussions. It's also a communication tool to Ohio Department of Education and Workforce and auditors on maybe potential financial problems that a district may having and may need some interventions or may be placed on some fiscal oversight status. And it's very important because it's our basis for our Certificate 412. So basically, we are signing off on a Certificate 412 that says we have sufficient funds to make payroll and pay our debts. All right, so as I said, the first part of the financial forecast is this huge one-page document, which you can't really see. To the board members, you have a copy of this in front of you. And now for this presentation, I'm taking screenshots of parts of it so that it's more visible and it's more easy to understand. So what are the components of a 5-year forecast? So you have your incoming money, which is your revenues and your other financing sources. You have your expenditures, which is what do we pay out. You have your debt services, your other financing uses, and then there's some very important key lines. So line 6.010 is a very important line that most people gravitate towards, and that is your deficit spending. So is it positive or negative? And you really want it to be positive so that your revenue is higher than your expenditures. When your expenditures are higher than your revenues, that's deficit spending, and that kind of gives a little signal like, hey, we need to look at a plan on getting an expenditure reduction or a revenue enhancement so that we do not have deficit spending. The other line that's really important is that last line, that line 15.101, and that's your cash balance on hand. And you want that to be positive so that you're not in fiscal oversight and that you have enough funds in order to pay payroll and to pay your bills. So the next one is your revenue. So what does your revenue comprise of? So we are a district that receives 44% of our revenue from taxes. And those taxes are comprised of our real estate taxes, that is your levies and your inside millage. It is comprised of your PUP, which is your public utility tax, and then we do not do income tax. So 44% of our revenue comes from taxes. 51% of our revenue comes from state sources. And what makes up your state forces? So your state forces it's called state funding or unrestricted. So that's the money that comes from the governor's every 2-year budget. So this is example, you get like your excess costs is in there, your base formula funding is in there per student, but there's a formula. So they look at your enrollment and they look at what they deem as the wealth of a district. And I talked about this at prior meetings. They use your property valuation in the district to determine the wealth of a district. So even though we're only collecting on the inside millage, they use those figures to be like, oh, well, Ravenna, you have higher property valuation, so you as a community can support your schools more, so we're going to give you less. So that's the way that they do the state funding calculations. So the other state funding that we get is called restricted aid. And this is money that we get from the state, but it has a dedicated purpose and it can only be used for that purpose. So examples of that would be, we had like Science of Reading last year. You have gifted funds. You have DPIA, which is Disadvantaged Pupil Impact Aid. We get threshold costs. So threshold costs are students that are being serviced on an IEP. We submit costs back to the state because what we've been given wasn't enough to cover the costs for those students. And then you have all other revenues, and your all other revenues could be like our Medicaid funding. There's like leases, like other ways that we can generate revenue for the district, but it's very small, like you're looking at only about 5%. So what's interesting is the green and blue will differ for each school district. Like there's some school districts that they only get 10% in state funding because they have to generate 90% from property taxes. You may have other districts like in Akron or Cleveland that are 25% property taxes and 75% in state funding. So that's why this is being a very difficult situation for even legislators, because no districts are the same. Like you can create property tax reform that'll benefit 300 districts, but will be awful for the other 300. So it's a very challenging situation. Let's see. All right, so now I've taken a screenshot of your one-page forecast so that you can see what does this look like and how does it look like for over the years. So remember we started out with history, so you have your history. That we're closed on 25. So that's what we achieved, that's what we received in revenue and other financing sources. And now 26 our current year, and then we go out 27, 28, 29, and 30. So you see kind of a little bit of a bump in property taxes, and that's all contributed to the community passing the emergency 5-year levy. And as I stated in the past, the inside millage and the reappraisal, we received $188,000. So you kind of see it flattening out, and that's kind of due to legislation where there's going to be caps on how much a school district can collect on reappraisals. And then you kind of have your PUP. So PUP, we put in what we were expected to get, but there is some lawsuits occurring at this time from some of the public utilities providers. So if they win those lawsuits or it gets adjusted, then in my next forecast, I'll readjust that. So this kind of shows how we're trending. We're pretty stagnant, pretty status quo on our state funding. And then at the bottom, if you look at the bottom at that 2.08, that's your total revenue and other financing sources. So we're kind of expecting to get $29 million in FY26, because remember, we're only collecting half of the emergency levy. So then we go to full collection, and it's pretty straight. It's about 30 million straight across. There's really no growth in any of our revenue, but we do know we're going to have growth in our expenditures. So the next one is our expenditures. So what is our expenditures? Well, we are a people industry, so of course most of our costs are going to be people, salaries and benefits. So we spend about 80% of our expenditures is attributed to salaries and benefits. And then we have about 15% for purchase services. And purchase services may be our utilities, it's our any contracted services, our legal fees, it's our utilities for our buildings, it's our gas for our buses. And then in the yellow, it's about 5%, and these are our expenditures for any of our supplies and capital, any of our debt. So we pay out of here like our auditor fees. So for the Portage County auditor to collect our tax money, we pay a fee for that. So if you are collecting more tax money, your fees go up. These are our bank fees, liability insurance. So now again, I took all the expenditures and other financing sources, and it's going to be on the next two pages of the documents provided to the board, and it kind of shows where we're at with our expenditures. So our expenditures are going to go up by, we're expecting like purchase services, supplies, capital outlay to go up between about 2 to 5%. You know, we're going to be in union negotiations, so there's been some figures calculated into the salary increases. And then for benefits for our health care, it usually goes up between 5 to 10% a year. So those are all kind of estimated and calculated in here. So then if you look at the next page for the board, you're kind of looking at that bottom line, and that's your 6.010. That's that line I talked about before. What is it looking like with our expenditures versus our revenue? And as you see, we are not doing any deficit spending, but as you get to year FY 2030, you start to see that deficit spending. So that's where we have to kind of be like, this is a warning sign for us, like, oh, well, we need to kind of figure out how to eliminate that deficit spending. So this is a nice graph that kind of shows the deficit spending, the revenues. So you have in blue, you always want blue to be higher than yellow. So blue is your revenue, yellow is your expenditures. But as you see here, we're kind of crossing over as we're going into 30, where our expenditures are exceeding our revenue. And that's where you're seeing that deficit spending. Okay, the next one is your line 15.010, and this is your cash on hand. So basically, again, you want your expenditures are in your yellow, your revenue is in your blue, and then that line is your cash balance. So we're seeing an upward trend of our cash balance, but then you see now as it's going lower as we're further out in years. And the next page is kind of your chart on your cash balance limit. So we finished up FY25 with a little, about 2.4 million. In FY26, we're expected to be at 4.4 million. 27, our cash balance on hand, 6.2 million. In 28, it's 6.8 million. 29, 6.2 million. And then 2030, 4.2 million. So how does this equate to cash on hand per days? So we are expected, so if you can recall the past, we were like negative days, or we had 1 or 2 days of cash on hand. So we're expected to kind of be around 59 days in 26, and then go to 80, 84, 73, and 48 for 27, 28, 29, and 30. So the Finance Committee and then the Policy Committee, I'll be presenting a cash balance policy that we'll be reviewing on what do we deem as our district, what should be our cash balance on hand, what should we do if it goes below that number, and then what should we do if it goes above that number. So for example, let's say we want for the subsequent year to be 60, so for the next year to be 60, but then we want it to be 80 going forward, and if it goes below 80 in like years 2 and 3, we need to kind of meet and just figure out a plan of how we're going to, get that number back up so that we're fiscally sound. And then if it goes over 100, then maybe we have a plan that, what will be our plan to spend down that money to align with our strategic plan for the district. So that will be coming, I'll be presenting that to the Finance Committee, the Policy Committee, and then it'll be presented at the board meetings for 2 readings for your approval. Okay, so what has happened in the past to impact school districts' funding? So basically, House Bill 96 gives county auditors this option to do piggyback. So there's 6 counties in Ohio that are doing it. We are not doing it right now. But what it does is it gives homeowners 2.5% more credit on their taxes, but so that's money still coming from the state, but then the county doesn't get that. So everybody that gets that money is going to get like a 2.5% reduction, okay? The next one is House Bill 129, which states that all levies are part of the floor. This does not impact us because all of our levies were already part of it, and we were not below the 20 mil floor, so no impact to us. House Bill 186 is an inflation credit cap. So as you saw, your property taxes in the district go up 29.42%. There'll be a cap on how high property taxes can go up and how much can be collected, and that will be determined by the GDP deflator, and we are using a figure of 8% in our forecast. This other one's an interesting one too. So there's no more business credit. So business owners throughout the state would be able to get a 10% credit on their taxes that was paid from by the state. The state pulled that. So if you are a owner of rental properties, they're not getting that anymore. If you own businesses in cities, you're not getting that anymore. It's not impacting the school district because that money of 10% is actually going back to homeowners. So as a property owner, you get 12.5% in rollback, and in your you get 12.5% back in your rollbacks and owner occupied. That is going to go to 15.38% over the course of 4 years. So that 10% is just shifting over there, so it's no impact to school districts. House Bill 309 expanded the authority of the county commissioners. This is still kind of in limbo on what that's going to impact. So in some counties, they're having these budget meetings where the board president, the superintendent, myself would have to present our forecast to the commissioners, and if they felt that you were over maybe 50% carryover, you had to have a plan. We're not really seeing that much right now in Portage County, but we're constantly meeting with Mr. Kelly and how all this is going to impact us. Let's see. And the next one is our uncertainties. So I'm presenting a forecast, and it's very similar to a weather forecast. We're days out. We're like 30 days out. I'm using historical data. I'm using predictions. But as we get closer and closer to the date, I'll know more and that's why we'll keep fine-tuning this and always being on top of this. Here's what we don't know. We don't know who's going to be the governor and what the governor's budget's going to be. So right now, we got Governor DeWine's budget for right now, and then when the new governor comes in, they're going to do a 2-year budget. And like Governor DeWine changed formulas, we don't know what's going to change for the positive or the negative for school districts. As I stated, there is that piggyback tax exemption. We will only know how that will impact Portage County. It's a year-to-year basis. So the county auditor can put this in place at the beginning of each year. So that's another uncertainty. And we don't know any new legislation that will be approved or is pending that could impact school districts. But as we know things, we will modify our forecasts accordingly. And as I stated, this financial forecast, which is and with the assumptions will be available on the district website tomorrow. And if anybody has any questions in the community, they're more than welcome to email me and I can return a phone call or set up an in-person meeting. Does the board have any questions?
That was an excellent presentation.
Well, thank you very
That
much.
was so understandable.
Thank you.
And whenever I'm out in public and somebody asks me if I can carry this with me, I'm going to be able to answer questions. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Anybody else? All right, superintendent's update.
Thank you. I just have a few things I wanted to announce. First of all, this Wednesday at the high school we're only going to have juniors at the high school during the day. The rest of the students will be at home on having assignments and online learning. It's ACT day, and all of our juniors here at Ravenna High School will be taking that test during that day. We've done that in the past for several years. Just wanted to recognize Williard for their great growth on Dibbles. Dibbles is one of our benchmarks and indicators that show reading growth, and we've seen some really great success at Williard. I think that's attributed to staying true to our CKLA reading program, providing interventions and skills throughout the day on top of the normal instruction. So we've seen some really positive trends for our K2 students. Just wanted to talk about the new athletic league for the 27-28 school year. It is going to be called the Greater Portage Athletic Conference. It consists of 8 teams: Mogadore, Garrettsville, Rootstown, Southeast, Akron, Springfield, Crestwood, Waterloo, and Ravenna. Just really excited about, one, the close relationships that we have with a lot of our county schools, the amount of drive time that we've reduced in half, as well as a more competitive balance with our enrollment figures and athletic teams. We've all been meeting on a regular basis. Currently, we're in committee work, interviewing and hiring a commissioner, as well as finalizing our new bylaws for the league. Each school's represented on one of those 2 committees with the superintendents and ADs, and it's just been a really positive and enlightening discussion to have with these 7 other schools that just have the same common goals for our kids to be competitive and have a good quality league, and increase our attendance at events, as well as reducing our drive time so that we can focus our kids on academics, not getting home so late from school for when they have homework. So that'll be not next year. We will be in the 10-team MAC for next year for our last year, and then moving on to the GPAC in 27-28. And then finally, I just wanted to talk briefly about all the changes that we have next year. Obviously, we've announced that West Main is closing. So next year, Williard will be K through 2. Brown Middle School will be 3 through 6, and the high school will be 7 through 12, down to 3 buildings. I know we've had lots of questions about things. All the administrators meet on a bi-weekly basis or weekly basis, depending on the week, and to work on planning and everything. We just had our 8th grade transition night last week, and we're going to be doing 6th and 7th grade visits in the spring as we get a little closer to the end of the year, so that they can tour the building, similar to what our high school students do when they go to Maplewood for a day tour or a half a day tour. And then we're going to have some open houses and things in August as they can come and work on their lockers and their schedules. We will be communicating that all out through either Parent Square or email or both. Also, busing will be similar to what we've had in the past. So we'll do a questionnaire in the spring, especially for our high school students who are going to be using the buses. And then final routes don't get released till August. So just so everyone has a timeline of where we're at and what we're doing. We're still, there's a lot of layers to this, not just staffing, not just kids, but also, physical moves and closures of buildings and making sure that we're maintaining those. And we want to make sure that we're giving all accurate information out the first time instead of having to backtrack and give out any more information that wasn't correct. So those will be coming out soon. I will put out a timeline to everyone. Just wanted to make that announcement here tonight, and then we'll follow through on that.
I know it's a lot of work to put that league together, so we really, and you're going to save us some money too. Next is Maplewood. Mainly it's about kids. We had a student of the month, a January student of the month, who was in cosmetology. Her name is Linda Woods, so we're very proud of her because they don't pick that many kids to do student of the month. We also visited the medical assisting unit, and we have 4 Ravenna students that are involved in that. And what's really nice about that group is these kids come out right away being able to get a job in hospitals or doctors' offices, pulling blood and doing some of the smaller tests that need to be done. So a lot of these kids will have their license and will go right out to work. And then a lot of them are planning to use the money they're making to go on to college. Also, on the perfect attendance, Ravenna had 6 seniors and, 6 juniors and 8 seniors who had perfect attendance. And on the honor roll, we had 17 seniors that made the honor roll for the semester and 20 juniors. And those kids are Ian Kerr, Candace Davis, Ryan Eldridge, Matthew Fuller, Jason Hawkins, Logan Heisel, Sean Jordan, Gabriel King, Elizabeth Nicely, Hazel Kovacs, Rebecca Mingo, David Morgan, David Spolcher, do you know if that's how to pronounce it? Preston Vargo, Lila Walton, Connor Welling, and Dakota West. And our juniors are Caleb Angle, Alana Castile, Darius Brown, Georgia Calhoun, Adrian Kroom, Bradley Davis, Lillian Dietrich, Marshall Froelich, Gunnar Hillis, Gracie Kidd, Giselle Maddox, Connor McKinney, Mark Miller, Brandon Nichols, Sophia Reyes, Caleb Salisbury, Corey Slowey, Amaya Templeton, Candace Tucker, and Linda Woods. And those are our kids that are out at Maplewood that have attended Ravenna all these years and now are out there, but they are still part of our kids. So we are happy to honor them. Now, Parks and Recreation.
Yes, the Ravenna Parks and Recreation is sponsoring the Marlene Watt Poker Run on Saturday, March 14th, beginning at 9 a.m. at the English Pub is our starting point. And this event will raise money to help offset registration fees for our Ravenna youth activities. Participants will pay $40 for registration, and they'll get a T-shirt, and there's a chance to win the $500 pot of gold. There are lots of gift baskets this year, and as well as a swag bag. So if you don't have anything to do and want to join into this, there's also an after party. So please come out and support the Ravenna Parks and Recreation to help us help our youth so they can participate in some of the activities over the year. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Now, reports of the treasurer.
All right, so reports, we have a consent agenda, items 12A, 1, 2, and 3. 12A1 is the approval of the February 9th minutes. 12A2 is our acceptance of gifts and donations, and 12A3 is our financial January reports.
So moved.
All right, any discussion? Roll call?
Mrs. Calhoun?
Yes.
Mrs. Dennison?
Yes.
Mrs. Raynone?
Yes.
Mrs. Seaman?
Yes.
Mr. Wisniewski?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next, we have a single item, it's 12A4, and that is the approval of the February 2026 financial forecast and assumptions.
May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Mrs. Calhoun?
Yes.
Mrs. Dennison?
Yes.
Mrs. Raynone?
Yes.
Mrs. Seaman?
Yes.
Mr. Wisniewski.
Motion carried.
And then we have another standalone item, 12A5, is the approval of the new public support account. And we talked about this at our work session of creating that extra fund so that we can have it for building supports to support any of our buildings for improvements or equipment that would exceed beyond permanent improvement funds.
All right. Motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Mrs. Calhoun?
Yes.
Mrs. Dennison?
Yes.
Mrs. Raynone?
Yes.
Mrs. Seaman?
Yes.
Mr. Wisniewski?
Yes.
Motion carried. All right, now, reports and recommendations of the superintendent.
Thank you. A1 is a standalone. It's the approval of the contract agreement with Stark Portage Area Computer Consortium, also known as SPARC, to provide our internet services for 26-27 school year.
Can I have a motion?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Calhoun?
Yes.
Mrs. Dennison?
Yes.
Mrs. Raynone?
Yes.
Mrs. Seaman?
Yes.
Mr. Wisniewski?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. A2 is to approve an MOU, Memorandum of Understanding with Stark State for college credit plus programming for 26-27 school year, similar to what we've done with Kent, Hiram, Akron, and Miami already this year.
All right, could I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Calhoun?
Yes.
Mrs. Dennison?
Yes.
Mrs. Raynone?
Yes.
Mrs. Seaman?
Yes.
Mr. Wisniewski?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. A3 is also a standalone. This is to approve membership agreement with the Ohio High School Athletic Association for the 26-27 school year so that we can participate in end-of-year tournaments and follow along with their governing board administration.
Could I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Calhoun?
Yes.
Mrs. Dennison?
Yes.
Mrs. Raynone?
Yes.
Mrs. Seaman?
Yes.
Mr. Wisniewski?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. A4 is also standalone. Approve a bus bid participation. Mr. McDivitt, our business manager, is asking for the district to participate in the Ohio Schools Council Spring 2026 school bid process for school buses.
Great. Could I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. Any discussion?
Yeah. And that is for 2 buses, is that correct? 2
Yes,
buses?
it doesn't obligate us to buy,
Okay.
but it allows us the opportunity to, if we do choose
If we
to
do
buy,
choose to.
we can go under their bid prices.
Okay, very good, thank you.
Any more discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Calhoun?
Yes.
Mrs. Dennison?
Yes.
Mrs. Raynone?
Yes.
Mrs. Seaman?
Yes.
Mr. Wisniewski?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Number 5 is also a standalone to approve an overnight extended field trip for the varsity and JV boys baseball team to travel to Millington, Tennessee for a spring baseball trip, which is scheduled over spring break. We have traveled out of state for baseball trips previous to that in North Carolina as well as Tennessee. And Mr. Lovejoy has this all planned out and ready to go as per your approval.
All right. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? Any questions? Roll call.
Mrs. Calhoun?
Yes.
Mrs. Dennison?
Yes.
Mrs. Raynone?
Yes.
Mrs. Seaman?
Yes.
Mr. Wisniewski?
Yes.
Thank you. 14A is for certificated staff. Only number 1 here, standalone. This is for improvement of 2 substitute teachers, as listed.
Could I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Calhoun?
Yes.
Mrs. Dennison?
Yes.
Mrs. Raynone?
Yes.
Mrs. Seaman?
Yes.
Mr. Wisniewski?
Yes.
Motion carried.
14B, supplemental contracts 1 through 6 are all on a consent agenda. you'll see 1 through 3 are to accept resignations of track coaches who had already been approved for the year. 4 and 5 are to approve the employment or resolution to amend the employment of 5 track coaches for the spring season. And then 6 is to approve a couple athletic workers for the remainder of the school year.
All right. I just have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
These all had, like the first 2 had moved on. They were not exempt, they were consent for the first 2. And then, oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Okay.
B1 through 5.
All
I'm sorry,
right.
1 through 6.
All right. Could I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
All right. Any discussion? Roll call?
Mrs. Calhoun?
Yes.
Mrs. Dennison?
Yes.
Mrs. Raynone?
Yes.
Mrs. Seaman?
Yes.
Mr. Wisniewski?
Yes.
Motion
Thank
carries.
you. The last vote is for 14C classified. This is a consent 1 through 5. As listed, 1 is to accept the resignation of an educational aide who has just been approved to be a substitute teacher. 2 is to accept the resignation of a bus driver. 3 is to approve the employment of a bus driver. 4 is to approve changes to custodial positions based on the bid process and the 338 union contract. And number 5 is to approve employment of 3 classified substitutes as listed.
All right. Could I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Calhoun?
Yes.
Mrs. Dennison?
Yes.
Mrs. Raynone?
Yes.
Mrs. Seaman?
Yes.
Mr. Wisniewski?
Yes.
Motion carried. Do we have anybody signed up for?
We do not have anyone signed up for non-agenda
Non-agenda?
items.
All right.
We do have a need for executive
All
session.
right. Could I have, oh, wait. I'll do
Information.
the informational items right now. End of the third 9 weeks is Friday, March 20th. Board of Education meeting is Monday, March 23rd. And now I need a motion for executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mrs. Calhoun?
Yes.
Mrs. Dennison?
Yes.
Mrs. Raynone?
Yes.
Mrs. Seaman?
Yes.
Mr. Wisniewski?
Yes.
Motion carried.
And that will be for A2 employment and B to consider the purchase of property for public purposes.
And into executive session at 5:55.
Correct.
Hold on, they'll give us a heads up when the
Okay.
thing's on.
Okay, out of executive session at 6:30, and I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Or I guess roll call?
Mrs. Calhoun?
Yes.
Mrs. Dennison?
Yes.
Mrs. Raynon?
Yes.
Mrs. Seaman?
Yes.
Mr. Wisniewski?
Yes.
You guys were on it over there. You guys were on it with the...
Voting?